Hello and welcome back to another Astrala Tea Party. Whether you're here from my circle or somewhere else, I welcome you and I'm so grateful that you're here. Today is very special and exciting. We have a new moon in Aquarius, so I'm vibing hardcore with this. Our lunar energy, our mother or grandmother moon, is sort of hugging the energy of our father sun, right? That divine masculine life force, flaming energy. So we have solar and lunar energy coming together in a way that is so good for manifestation. So if you're the kind of person who is drawn to the manifestation powers of the new moon, by all means, write your intentions for the next few days or perhaps next few years, because this is powerful stuff we're sinking into. This is Aquarian energy, which is, as I mentioned last week, very humanitarian. But we are being asked to rewrite what it means to be humanitarian a little bit, or at least in our own minds. For myself, I used to think humanitarian meant, you fight for good and you get rid of or delete the evil people who do not deserve to be here. But that's not it at all. It's all about transformation, reform, revolution. And Aquarius loves that stuff, like just absolutely loves it and represents it and embodies it. And so we sip our tea today in honor of this new moon, in honor of this new fresh idea, this new paradigm you're stepping into. And perhaps you've been stepping into it for a while and it's a kind of a long tunnel, or perhaps it's like an archway crumbling and you just take one little step through and it all crumbles behind you and you're in this new belief system, this new open opportunity. Wherever you're at in the spectrum of life experience, I welcome you here and I'm so grateful for you, and so is this new moon. This new moon is welcoming you in with open arms. So cheers. Alongside this little rendezvous of our sun and our moon, we also have another very Aquarian aspect between Mercury retrograde and Venus. So during this next week or two, I believe, if not the past week or two, I'm looking at my calendar for reference, we have Mercury going backwards in the sky. What it's really doing is completing its orbit around our sun, and in doing so crosses paths visually with Venus through Aquarius. This is the celestial embodiment of the rewriting of what it means to be humanitarian, of what it means to be masculine, because Aquarius is also a masculine sign. It's very much action-based, very much intellectual, logical, structured, right? And yet it's also alien. It's also very weird. It's logical, at least to itself. But so it's sort of life's work is to teach others the logic of the cosmos, which is kind of very much the beyond our logic. You know, it's not just human logic, it's humanitarian teaching, but by embodying, which is where that like sort of breathwork energy comes in, getting your body moving. Basically anything you can do to enact that energy of air or perhaps even fire within you. Your blood moving, your lung capacity strengthened and expanded. All of this is a physical embodiment of what Aquarius represents, especially right now, because Mercury is moving through and sort of like having a little bit of a tea party with Venus, being like, hey girl, been so long, how's it going? And they're gonna have a little like tete or whatever the heck it's called, and they're gonna like, you know, ruminate and be a little more open and free and like hippie style, a little less rugged, especially because Saturn is 6 degrees at least behind these other planets. And then I think Jupiter's also going to be in this sort of little stellium with Venus and Mercury. So it's kind of like the daughter of the cosmos energy wise, and the cousin of the cosmos who's kind of like zany and out there but really fun to be around, Mercury. And then Jupiter, who's sort of this uncle energy, this very much like, don't listen to your dad, he's kind of crazy, and we're working on a new project together here in Aquarius. But I don't know why I'm personifying these so much, but I think it's just the energy that's going on right now. This is what happens when you try to translate the celestial energies into the physical realm, right? So, but because Saturn is sort of lagging behind energetically in Aquarius, we have some very interesting things going on. We have this very interesting like, oh hey, we all showed up to dinner early, so let's kind of like conspire a little. Let's have a little bit of a revolution among the family, right? And then we'll catch Dad up with it. You know, we'll get him there, but he's a little slow on the uptake. He doesn't really know how to use technology yet. He's a little bit, slow, and we're gonna go let him go at his pace. Like, give that structure time to build, in other words. But we're gonna have our fun while we're here, right, guys? And it's like, yes, it's this sense of like loosening up, getting a little weird. If any type of tension comes up between you and perhaps someone who has some daddy issues or some weird, hurt, wounded masculine, try to just breathe through it. Because you got to recognize that you're holding space for you, and you can hold space for someone else, but it's going to be really, really difficult to hold space for anything else unless you're holding space for yourself first. You are your own container. This is why you were given a body when your soul thrusted itself into this world. Possibly a poor choice of words, but fitting nonetheless for this kind of energy. So hopefully all of that made sense. I know that was a lot of like personified analogies, but get familiar with these planets. They're your friends, they're your family. These are the archetypes, the essences of what makes human life so interesting and so fun. And I feel really excited about this new moon because I feel like the fun is coming back, and I keep like jazzing up my shoulders with that anticipation, getting those lungs ready to fill with more new air that Aquarius is bringing in. So celebrate this. Celebrate your uniqueness at a more simple level. Celebrate what makes you kind of an alien. If you've been feeling isolated, try to reflect on that really deeply and figure out why it is you're uncomfortable being alone or being isolated. Recognize that in feeling alone, in feeling solitude within this body in its nourished state, natural state, represents oneness of the collective. So in honoring this oneness here, you're actually honoring the oneness of the collective. And that's kind of the true humanitarian energy right there. That's Aquarius in a nutshell. So, and a little bit of what we experienced last month in the full moon in Leo. So, I'm very grateful that you're here, that you are your authentic self, that you're individual, but also part of my collective, our collective. And yeah, I'll drink to that, let me tell you. I love you all. Thank you so very much, and I will see you next week.